I'm joined now by Professor Marianne Cusato, the designer of the original Katrina cottages, small houses designed as a response to the inadequacies of the trailers issued to flood victims by the Federal Emergency Management Agency in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. Welcome to Notre Dame Day, Professor. We are honored to have you here. Now, as we approach the 12th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, what is the current state of emergency housing in the United States?
It's better than when Katrina happened, so we're not doing the formaldehyde trailers that kill people, which is obviously good, but it's not great. We're not prepared. Just flat out, we're not prepared. We're delivering things that look like utility sheds that have no dignity, that cost $129,000 to $150,000 each to sit outside of a house that might cost $200,000. So there's a priority of funding, and there's also a delay. When in August, when the flooding happened this past August in Louisiana, FEMA identified and found the lots and approved 4,400 units. As of the end of February, only 2,900 were delivered. So over 6 months later, 1,100 families still without housing. So it's an extraordinary, it's a massive issue.
Now, how are cities planning for resiliency in the face of future disasters?
It really depends on the place, and so this is one of the tricky issues. So we have an issue of sea level change. Global warming is magnifying what the scope of disasters, and so it depends. A city like Miami Beach, they're right on the ocean. When the sea level comes up, they can only manage it through mechanical systems. So they have pumps running 24 hours a day to push the water out. It used to be just on a sunny day you would get a flood in the middle of the city. You don't anymore because they have pumps running. They're not prepared. You cannot fix things with a mechanical solution. Other cities like New York, which are also high risk, will have a seawall. They could raise it up. But that's going to get into an issue like Louisiana, where it's literally below sea level. They have a levee the water is higher than the city. We at some point very soon are going to have to confront where we live as citizens of this planet and this country. There are some villages in Alaska right now that are being moved. The first climate refugees are relocating entire towns because their land is no longer habitable.
Now, you teach a course on housing and architecture for students, but how do you think designers and architects can help cities recover from disasters?
Well, we're one of the last generalists. So we're everybody's very silo-based. Architects actually touch all of the professions. So even in our class, we have engineers, we have a lawyer, we have industrial designers. It takes everybody coming together to look at the legal implications, just the physical engineering implications, and then the city and place building implications. And that's where the architect is really probably the best profession to manage those relationships.
And what lessons from emergency housing can be applied to creating more affordable housing?
That's an excellent question, because there are a lot of them. There are a lot of parallels, because it's about deciding what matters most now. What are the elements that are essential for a dignified, safe home, and what are the ones that we can leave behind? There's a massive mismatch in the housing in this country. We have more and more people that are falling out of being able to purchase houses. So it's the aging population that wants to age in place, working class families. And to meet those needs, it's very similar to a disaster setting. You have to go straight to the point. What are the elements that matter most? And usually it's the safety and the proportions of the building. And then how can we do that on a larger scale that then meets these needs?
Well, thank you so much for the work you're doing here at Notre Dame and really around the country.